Pages, Pixels, and Pieces. And this segment is brought to you by the Fantasy Shop in Maplewood, Missouri. Proud to have our local comic book shop as our official sponsor. Comics, collectibles, toys, Magic the Gathering, and board games. The Fantasy Shop in St. Louis, proudly serving the St. Louis community since 1981. They bring us, oh my gosh, a slew of comics this week, and we'll just rapid fire these comics because of time. But we have Thrawn number 3, Darth Vader 14, Star Wars 46, and I threw the latest Dr. Aphra. It's number 18. I only mention it because it has our girl Hera on the front cover, front and center with Aphra. I don't follow the series. I'm so happy if you enjoy it.
I read it. And it was
What happens in it?
I couldn't even tell you. It's just that meh.
Okay, well that cover though is worth getting in some Mylar, fullback, frame, do it. It's just good to see that connectivity, right, Jesse? Seeing Hera interact with, well, Dr. Aphra, who's a brand new character invented in the comic book series, right?
Unfortunately, shamefully, I'm kind of behind on the comics this week. And from everything I hear about Doctor, I have no interest in looking at this comic. Like, just in terms of reading it, like it's apparently just not very solid.
But I'm happy for the people who do enjoy it because it's definitely pulling in, I think, a newer audience for Star Wars comics, which is exciting. Let's start with Darth Vader number 14 right off the top because while this comic, the first panel of it is the Empire just destroying the surface area of Mon Cala. It's beautiful. To give you some perspective on this comic book. Basically what's going on is the Empire is invading Mon Cala. We kind of talked about this with the last issue, and Vader is now hunting down another Jedi that he believes to be alive. And so there's this attack, and, we ultimately find out who the Jedi is. David, how did you feel about the reveal of Jedi Master Bar still alive?
So I don't know anything about Jedi Master Bar, so it wasn't an over-the-top reveal for me that I got really giddy and excited about. However, he's kind of hanging out in a cave with some people. Are they possibly learning the Force?
Yeah, it definitely seems like he's kind of trying to restart his kind of Jedi Academy, and has like 5 or 6, I would assume it's safe to say, Padawans with him. And he kind of goes through and he starts telling them about Anakin Skywalker. Like, he knows Vader's Anakin. He goes through the security tapes from the Jedi Temple. He tells the story of how Anakin was brought into the Order, thought he was to be the savior, ended up falling from grace to evil. And I just thought it was great. If you don't know Jedi Master Bar, he is the Jedi. You see him, I think, briefly in Phantom Menace, but like I think where a lot of fans are going to know him from is that micro series that was on Cartoon Network in 2003. You hear me talk about it all the time. The very first sequence of the very first short there is on Geonosis, and Yoda's leading the attack, and these Jedi starfighters kind of cruise down. Bar is the one in there. He's the one with the horns, and this one horn here is like been like sliced off like by a saber or a blast, but he's missing part of the horn there. That's Jedi Master Bar, and so I thought that was cool because here's another council master that survived Order 66, which is pretty exciting to me. So I thought that was a real tweet and a real treat, and I think it pays off to fans like Jesse and I especially, who we are always looking for that connectivity with canon. It really pays off. And it's also something similar that we get in Star Wars 46, also taking place on Mon Cala. And it's a situation where, the Rebel Alliance is trying to, again, get Mon Cala to join the rebellion. David, do you have a major takeaway from Star Wars 46?
Not particularly. I will say that to me the art is getting better, but the faces still want me to, punch something.
Yeah, I feel bad because I feel like every week we're talking about how LaRocca just refuses to let go of this likeness style.
But the rest of the art, to me, has been getting better with every issue.
Okay.
So I don't think it's an issue with his art or his talent. I think it's that they're asking him to put these awful faces. Not to say that Mark Hamill's face is awful, or Carrie Fisher, or Harrison Ford. They just don't look like they should be in a comic.
It's a little shocking. Thrawn number 3 was also the other comic that came out recently, and I think this is a great job of an adaptation of the Timothy Zahn novel. I don't know, Jesse. I know you want to read that book, like the novel first. I would read the comic adaptation first because it slices through a lot of Timothy Zahn's writing style, which is over detailed and it's truly Thrawn. Like when you read his writing, it truly feels like Thrawn because it's so meticulous and just very over the top. this cuts through all that, and it's such a great telling.
The thing is with that is I'm a very avid reader. Like, I'm able to read something and like construct that image. Like, I get a really nice image in my head,
Well,
so I
then-
kind of want to see like how what I formed, compares to what somebody actually.
All right, Jesse,
put
be
on the
stubborn.
table.
That's fine. I'm just
gonna
telling
be stubborn
you.
about it, but
The comic is just tremendous. Issue number 3 focuses purely on not Governor Price at this point, but Orinda Price is this character that we know very well from Star Wars Rebels.
I don't.
Well, that's because
I'm
you
behind.
suck.
Yep.
Why is everyone behind on this show? When you watch Star Wars Rebels, she's the governor of Lothal, and this issue number 3 is part of the Thrawn book of her origin story and really how she comes to be of power on Lothal. And through this extended issue, it walks you through her whole timeline, which is really cool. And her first introduction to Thrawn and how she tries to use Thrawn as an ally and how maybe that does or does not backfire on her. If you're not reading this Thrawn miniseries, you have to. I really would encourage you now, after reading this 3rd issue, to pick this up first and then go back and read that novel. I mentioned Dr. Aphra 18. I just like the cover because it's Hera, and she's a pretty character. All right, before we go on to the next, because we have Star Wars Most Wanted book description, hints at background of Solo. Before we go on to that, though, we do have the comic book giveaway. So what we have here is the Icon variant comic book, thanks to our good friends over at Maplewood Fantasy Shop, and we're giving this away. So all you have to do to enter to win this comic book, and we'll ship it out to you for free, all you have to do is comment directly below with hashtag.
never tell me the odds.
There you go. See, it's very simple. Hashtag never tell me the odds down in the comments below. You have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel in order for you to win this comic book. But what's really exciting is this week we're giving out a variant cover. Next week we could be giving out the entire week's worth of comics. You just never know. So you want to make sure that you stick with us and always look for that weekly giveaway we're doing here on Pages, Pixels, and Pieces. Again, thanks to our sponsor, the Fantasy Shop in Maplewood, Missouri.